so many rules and so much regulation, so much liquor and alcohol, everything. We got Coors Light and French fries. The ego of an artist is very interesting. My current goals, is to continue to have Volcanic be here and be in the community.
Welcome to the Venture Into Moving podcast with your higgity host, Nate Becker. That's me.
Let's just jump into it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, Derek. Thanks for getting me this here Coors Light. I'm a light beer drinker myself.
Yeah. I'm a tequila guy, so I was like, I can't start on tequila this early.
you don't want that. These clothes to be coming off.
Yeah, we'll save that for the weekend.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm here with Derek, and we are. Oops.
Derek's older.
I know. Sorry. Recut. I called Derek twice in a row. Johnny, my bad.
That's all good.
And I was thinking, so your name's Johnny Davis.
Yep.
You ever get confused? There's another famous musician out there by the name of John Davis.
It's only happened one time, surprisingly, my entire life working. I only had one time someone was like, "Are you the lead singer of Korn?" I was like, "No, I'm not."
You should have been like,
yeah. I could have just went into it or played on it, but I decided not to.
All right, well then a quick business and passions overview. Kind of what are you into right now? What are your little fingers dipped in?
Right now, I'm running the venue full time, doing this full time, still producing concerts like throughout the Pacific Northwest, and then I've been trying to put a lot of focus on my studio as well, and just like working with people and writing and producing my own music personally, and then have a little like printing apparel business in startups right now. So
what's that called?
I keep going back and forth on the name that I want to have for it. Right now, I just did 1988 printing. But it was essentially just like we needed merch for Volcanic, and a couple of bands I know needed merch, and I was like getting quotes on stuff, and I was like, this is so expensive. And I started looking into buying my own stuff, and I was like, well, shit, I could just buy my own stuff and figure out how to do this and save myself a lot of money potentially. And I already have a warehouse, so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna buy it. And there's been a lot of learning curves, of course, with anything, but it's already paid for itself.
Really?
In a year. So I'm like, okay, that was worth throwing the dice on.
When I was a younger fella, that's one of the first things I wanted to do. Is I really wanted to start my own merch type company and business.
Nice.
And I wound up making my own clothing company called Vagabond Fightwear. I used to be a professional fighter.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
And I wanted to get my gear made, but I didn't want to spend the money. I'm just a guy. I can't afford that stuff. So I started my own little screen printing in my apartment, and I was baking the ink on the shirts in my oven, my actual oven.
The actual oven.
Yeah.
It worked though.
It worked. Yeah. And it was a thing I tried. I got better at it, but then I realized I don't have the time for this.
Yeah.
So but
it's a lot of work. Yeah, I will say that.
Just so you know, we're here at the Volcanic Theater Pub. That's the
This is the pub stage technically.
The pub side.
Yeah, well, we were gonna make this like a little fun stage for like karaoke and singer-songwriter style stuff, and have this be like a little intimate kind of venue.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of tried it when we first finished the remodel, and it didn't really pick up the momentum we were hoping for. So we're gonna,
this was the stage, or
this was the stage. Yeah, we got a PA already hung up there and lights, and we were just gonna put tables and chairs out here and just have it be like kind of like this little bar vibe. And we couldn't really get the traction we wanted. We're going to try again starting next month. We're going to see if we can get the wheels turning on it. We're just going to start doing karaoke in here and just have karaoke nights. And like everybody likes karaoke. Hopefully that works.
Welcome to the hotel.
Hell yeah. Just, like, name your song, have a shot of tequila. There you go.
Dude.
So
that's epic. All right. Yeah. So you're doing the Volcanic Theater Pub.
Yep.
You're in the band, of course.
Yep.
Which is called, was it Frisbee Golf? What's it called again?
What, my band?
Yeah, your band?
My band right now is just my name. Johnny Davis. Yep.
What was the one I was looking up? It was like a
Good Grief.
Okay.
And then before that, I was in a band called Capture the Flag.
Oh, Capture the Flag. Yeah. That's the one I had in my head. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, and I've played in a bunch of bands, since high school, and played in bands in Portland and all over the place. And I decided this time this is kind of just like a passion project for me and my music. So. Well,
you got a lot of things that kind of build on each other. You got your band, you produce, you got your own production studio.
Yep.
And you got your own venue.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's kind of been, I was joking about it the other day that I kind of like, I made my entire life. And in every like career and like financial thing around music. So it's like in every avenue I'm encompassed in music in some way, but it's kind of like, it's also like that little kid dream, right? Of like, I got my own recording studio. I have my own rehearsal space. I have my own concert venue. Like I have all this stuff. And it wasn't like this just happened overnight. I mean, I've been doing this over 25 years. So it's like, it's just a culmination of like working towards things and building things out and just that slow roll of getting things to where you want to have them. But it's now that I have all of it, it's awesome.
It makes me think. So you're a kid, you're like, all right, do I be an astronaut or a musician?
Yeah.
All right. So what was actually your first like big step towards this career in music that you can remember?
So it started when I was 14, actually, putting on concerts because I had
at 14.
Well, so to give a little more context, my whole dad's side of the family are all musicians. Like I'm like 4th generation, 5th generation musician. So they all played music. So I picked up music super early, like 9, 10 years old. By 14, I was playing in local bands and like doing that whole thing.
Was it around here?
Yeah, it was all in Bend. Yeah, I've been in Bend for 35 years now. So
forever.
Yeah, and like nobody was putting on shows with the bands that we were listening to in high school. Like, we were listening to a lot of a lot of rock, a lot of punk, a lot of hard metal, a lot of hardcore music, and just like a blend of everything. And or my friend group was, and nobody was putting on any shows for those artists. So we were just like, well, I'm just going to start going for this. And I did. So
I did the same when I was 16 in high school. I wanted to be, I think we got a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
I wanted to be, I have no musical talent, but I wanted to be a musical promoter because I thought bands are cool. Chicks dig bands. I dig chicks.
Yeah.
Like, let's get going. So I did one, I had one show. It was at the Reed Opera House in Salem. And I got 4 hardcore bands together. I think their names were like A Taste for Murder and like really mean sounding names. I did the show. The fire marshal came.
Yeah.
Everything was beautiful. Blood all over in the bathroom from that, but didn't follow it up after that.
Yeah.
But I did profit on one show.
Nice.
So when was the first time you threw a show and you profited?
Well, it'd probably be 14, 15.
Dude, right away.
But it was because the first like big show we did, and I say we because it was me and my buddy Mikey, we did with West Side Church, and it was like this big like Christian rock band at the time. But it was like his family was super involved with the church. We were trying to put on shows and like do this whole thing, and it was kind of like this, like they were just like, well, why don't you do a show here with this band, So we
like
did
at
this
the
whole
church,
thing.
You said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we like produced the show with them. We did like all the postering and marketing and like all the shopping for the bands and all that stuff.
It's a lot of work.
It is. And then the funny part is immediately following that, when I went to go do like my own show completely independently, I ended up losing money. And I mean, like, it wasn't a lot of money, a couple $100, but when I was 14, 15 years old, it's like, how the hell am I going to get a couple $100 to cover the losses?
Might as well be $1 million.
Yeah. And my friend's mom ended up like, she just like took care of the balance. And then like, I just like worked it off doing chores for her. But it was just like a immediate, like, here is the immediate high and low of this business, at a ripe 14, 15 years old, just getting smacked both ways. So.
Just cruising through puberty, like, all right, now I owe people money all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm 15, I already owe people money. This sucks.
Being an adult sucks.
Yeah, so.
So what's it like? Walk me through kind of the process of putting a show together from inception until, the first chords played on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, for like now at this level, it's like I'm usually booking stuff 6 to 8 months out in advance. I have tons of relationships with agents and managers all across the industry.
You have to.
And we get offered a ton of artists. We also reach out for a ton of new artists that are developing, and then it's phone calls, emails, negotiations, getting everything, all the offer and everything dialed to where it works for everybody, and then confirming the show, contracts, announcing, marketing, all the way up to the day of show. Day of shows, obviously, all hands on deck, all staff, sound checking, catering.
Hopefully the band shows up.
Making sure everything's dialed. Also making sure that your show's in the green or it's doing well enough that you're not going to be taking a loss on it.
Yeah.
And even now at this level, we produce like 300 shows a year. We still lose money on shows every month. It's just part of the ebb and flow of the business.
Yeah.
It's just now I understand when you're doing shows, it's okay to take losses on shows as long as the majority of your shows are staying in the green.
Well, yeah.
It's like any business, like you're going to have good months, bad months, and you just have to, do the best that you can to forecast that and set yourself up for success and try not to dig yourself too big of a hole.
That's a good thing to say because I own Higher Ground Moving, and come school's out, June, July, August, we're cruising. Money's coming in, moves are coming in. I didn't have to advertise.
Yeah.
But January, February, if the snow came, when the snow is here, people don't want to move.
Yeah.
I'm in the red. January, February, and some Marches.
Yeah.
That's 3 months in the red. I have to practice. I have to be aware of that, and to so that's the same with you guys, huh?
Yeah, no, it's exactly the same. I mean, it might sound crazy, but typically our slow time is actually the summer, June, July, August, September.
Because there's more stuff to do.
Because there's so much stuff to do. Yeah. Hayden Homes has so many shows going on. There's all these music festivals, and and Central Oregon usually in general is such a beautiful place to be in the summer. And there's so much stuff going on. It's like, why would anybody want to come inside for a show? So our busy season typically is October to June, and that's we just in full push, full hustle as much as we can.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't see a single show last summer, but I swear to you that October I came here.
Yeah.
The last time I was here was Flamingosis.
Yeah, yeah, they're awesome.
My wife loves that band. Yeah. In fact, we were watching the DJ before him, and we're standing there. I was like, this guy in the crowd looks like the dude from Flamingosis.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, are you the guy? He's like, yeah. That's how small this venue is.
Oh yeah, and that happens all the time. I was just having a meeting over at Good Life the other day, and a guy was talking about how he came early for a show, went to go get food at Good Life, and sat down, and the artist he was going to see was sitting across from him, in the corner eating, and he was like, "Oh my god, I have to go say hi."
And that's he's done with his tots.
Yeah, and that's kind of a cool thing about smaller and intimate venues, and having this be kind of a little central district over here of bars and restaurants and everything. It's you get those opportunities.
I love the way this area is coming together.
Yeah.
Is it Oregon Euphorics or?
Yeah, Oregon Euphorics, the dispensary, Good Life, Prost, Commonwealth.
Yep.
And then you have
across the street, right?
Well, then you also
Cascade
have
West.
You have Cascade West, and then you have the Flamingo Room right here, and then you have Bo's Falafel.
Bo is awesome.
And then there's a tattoo shop over there. There's it's this whole network of stuff.
Yeah, and there's a new thing I just saw. Went in over in their parking lot over there. It was
the Flux.
Flux.
Yeah, so that's they have the ice bath or
the cryo chambers,
the cryo
stuff,
the ice bath,
the sauna or whatever.
Yes, sauna, hot tub, hot cold plunge, all that stuff. They just opened a couple months ago.
I hadn't seen it. I just
I went over there and I sat in the hot tub or the hot soak for a while, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see if I can jump in the cold, and I jumped in and was out in 30 seconds.
Is it the one with the current?
Yeah, it was freezing. Yeah, it was I think it was only 42-degree water or something like that.
I've done it before. I did it with some friends who were tough.
Yeah.
The girl went in before me, and she didn't make a face. I got in after her.
Yeah.
I made a face.
Oh, yeah. It's brutally cold.
It's brutally cold. Okay, so let's get back on the promotion. Yeah. What's the biggest mistake a promoter can make these days?
I would just say overextending yourself financially on a show. So concerts, they can range in any price. There isn't a Kelly Blue Book or a Zillow to look up artists and their values. So you really have to know the markets, and you really have to know the artists very, very well and very intimately. And it's really easy to put yourself upside down. I actually just posted a video. The most money I'd ever lost on a show in a single night was $43,000. And that was it's one of those things where even after doing this for as long as I have, it was a humbling experience where I was like, damn, I've been doing this for 25 years and I messed up that bad
a big
on
boy
show.
boo-boo.
And overall, the show, that whole show production was $100,000 production. So it's it's a big production. But to still take, a $40,000 loss on the chin wasn't.
You can't do that too many times.
No, yeah. And that one hurt real bad.
I was actually going to ask about that later on in this, but I'll ask now, what's the story behind that?
Yeah, well, it was just, I booked a big 3-band bill that I thought was a grand slam for the Pacific Northwest. They were booking much bigger facilities throughout the West Coast and pretty much everywhere. And on paper and from my experience, all those artists do really well and everything really looked good. The ticket price was a little bit high and the asking price for the package was a little bit high, but I felt pretty confident that I was like, oh, you know, like this show of these artists should do 700 tickets, no problem. You know, 700 or 800 tickets. Like these are like big names. And it was kind of like a perfect storm of like the economy slowing down. You know, from the time I booked the show in April to July, the economy had slowed down dramatically and people weren't really buying tickets. We also had Hayden Holmes had, I think, like 52 shows last year, a big number.
Every week.
There was 3 music festivals happening in Central Oregon last summer as well. So it was just kind of like this perfect storm of everything. And then ironically enough, you know, I started calling other promoters and other venues to see how the show was doing. And that tour was tanking nationwide.
Really?
Like they were having shows canceled. They were having underperforming show after underperforming show. And I think it was just one of those things, like I said, it was just kind of like this perfect storm of all of these things happened at the same time with like economy, oversaturation, big events happening, people, you know, low on money. And there wasn't really much I could do. So we papered the room quite a bit, which means we're giving out free tickets. We got as many people here as we could.
We need bodies.
Yeah. And it was, you know, the positive I take from it was, you know, the biggest bar night we'd ever done at Volcanic. But I was like, you know, I gave away 200 tickets to try to get more people in the room to try to make up the difference on the loss that we were taking. You know, and I knew the morale was really low with the artists and the bands as well. And everybody was kind of feeling it. So after the show was done, like we brought everybody in here because it was an outdoor show. And we brought everybody in here and I just did an open bar for the bands and got everybody super drunk and sent them on their way. And it was just like, I was like, you know, it's like, I'm losing money. I'm sure, you know, you guys, you know, all feel pretty terrible knowing that how bad the show performed.
Yeah.
Everybody was kind of in like a blah. So I was like, whatever, let's just all get drunk.
But they're going to remember that. They'll think, all right, next time.
Yeah, and I hope,
call.
I hope that, next time we work with them or if we work with them again in the future, that it'll be that situation where they're like, oh yeah, like, let's make right by him or whatever, it's like, that's what you always hope. But
yeah, you hope.
Really at the end of the day, just making sure that, they all left happy and hopefully got the morale up a little bit. They definitely were going to be a little hungover, I'm sure, but
it's not your problem.
Yeah, but that's just part of the business.
Yeah. It seems like that's a lot of rigmarole. It's a lot of heartache to be a venue guy and a promoter.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just stick with if you promotion was working for you?
Yeah.
Why didn't you stick with that? Why did you take the next step?
So like I was doing concert promotion without a venue for most of my life.
Yeah.
And had produced tons of shows. I was doing shows in 4 different states at one point and like 20 venues. And the opportunity came up for the venue, but it had also always been on my bucket list of goals was to own a venue in Central Oregon. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those things where I was like, you know what, life is short and I'm kind of a little bit infamous for like going big on stuff and just going for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, like I'm still young, I've worked super hard my whole life to get to this point. I was like, I'm just gonna go for it,
yep.
And everything, of course, with it was 3 times what I thought it was going to be as far as expense, and everything was more difficult. And there was a huge learning curve that I didn't think I was going to run into.
You thought you already knew it.
I was like, man, I've been doing concerts for so long. How this can't be that much different.
Yeah, how hard can it be, right?
The concert side of it wasn't any different, but the day-to-day operations of running a venue, having a full-time lease, having 12 employees, like all this stuff, I was like, oh, this was a big learning curve. There's a lot of stuff I did out of the gate that I would have done differently now.
Like what?
I mean, just the overall like daily expenses, right? Like out the gate, I was booking a ton of shows, and and with that, it's like every show, there's a whole crew of staff that has to come on. And I was pushing things pretty hard. And part of that was testing to see what we could do and what it was capable of. But there was also expenses of like I didn't need to have 7 security guards on a sold out show. I'm like, the venue is only 4,000 square feet.
Yeah, you can all see all 7 guys.
Three guys can hold down the whole place, no problem. So there was like, you know, there's a lot of just like little things like that. And then just like understanding the bar side and like, you know, how much inventory to order, when to order it, what to price stuff at, how many wells we needed to have, you know, like efficiency with everything with the bar and just getting those systems down of like, you know, where are we going to have our lines? How are we, you know, how quickly can we get through people? Because once you open doors, you really only have 3 hours, you know, to make your bar, your bar revenue, and you got to be turning. And like most people are only going to get 2 drinks, you know, so it's like they're not coming in here to get super drunk or like anything like that. It's like they're coming in, they're getting their 2 drinks, watching their favorite band, and then they're done and they're off to go back home.
Yeah. Well, especially with the way you get DUIs these days.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's like, you know, we don't want to be getting anybody trashed anyways.
Of course not.
We don't want to deal with that. But even just understanding like the economics of like how many drinks do people, you know, want to have when they're at a show, and realizing that you can have the best drinks and the best bar and all that stuff, but the main attention, no matter what you do, is always going to be the artist. So it's like, you know, then I made a bunch of production upgrades. You know, I put in new sound system, a new stage, new lighting, and new equipment, all this stuff. Yeah, so it turned into, you know, like it was like there was a lot of expenses of stuff where I was like, I don't need to be spending this money, but I want to because I want the venue to be at a certain level of professionalism. So
you bought it from Derek. Was it 2012? No, what year was it?
No, the venue started in 2012. I bought it from him in 2022.
Oh, 2022. Yeah. That's what. Okay, so I was 10 years off.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. I mean, that's when the venue was the inception.
I got you. Yeah. And from when the previous owner had it to now, you guys made a lot of changes.
Tons. Yeah. I mean, we completely rearranged the main room. Yeah. We added a full bar. We added another 1,000 square feet. We extended the bathrooms, you know, male and female bathrooms. We did more ADA upgrades. We put a bathroom in the green room for artists. You know, new stage, new PA, new lighting, new console, new lighting console. Like, I mean, it was just like a humongous list of stuff on top of like decorating and just like adding a bunch of little things, you know, like even
buying
like
all these fake plants,
you know, like doing the whole bar build out.
Yeah.
All the wood on the bar counter and the shelving is all the old Doug fir beams from this building when it was built. So like we refurbished all that. A lot of like the tin and the wood on the bar and just like throughout the venue, like we tried to reuse a bunch of stuff as well to like keep that character of the venue.
It has a great feel to it. I mean, this is a fun place to be. If you've never been to the Volcanic Theater Pub, it's like it's such a quaint venue. Like when you go to it, like I said earlier, you're going to find someone you haven't seen in a while.
Yeah,
and you might find you're having a beer with your favorite musician.
Yeah, or your favorite artist. Yeah, just because he's hanging out because it's a small venue, you know, and like, you know, and then like with all of it, like me and like Crispy, who you met, and some of our other employees, like all my employees that when I bought the business, they're still all here. Everybody helped with like construction, whether it be cleanup or framing or plumbing or painting or like, you know, it's like we literally did all this. So it's, you know, it's pretty fun in that regard. And, you know, like I said, there was a lot of stuff that we had to, you know, a lot of stuff that was a learning curve that wasn't expected in running it as a bar and restaurant side, you know, full time. Or, you know, it's not a restaurant. We sell food because we have to, but we don't, you know, we're not trying to market it as a place to come get food. Please go eat at the other restaurants around here. Thank you.
Come here for some Coors Lights.
We got Coors Light and French fries. But no, it's a great space. And like, I really wanted to, even with building it out and doing a big remodel, I really still wanted it to have that same feel that it had before. And I didn't want it to lose any of its authenticity of that, you know, that like was a very important thing to me.
Well, you changed everything, but the feel is the same. Yeah.
And that was really my goal. Is I didn't want it to, you walk in and you're like, ugh, like it's like too squeaky clean, or it's like, you know, it doesn't have the right feel or the right vibe. Like the goal was really to like, let's upgrade everything and change everything, but keep that essence of like the theater that, you know, the community loves alive. So that was like a really big focus for me the whole time with everything. It's like not losing that feel. So that
makes sense to me. So everyone knows it's expensive. Rent's expensive, right? Your food and your drink cost expensive. Your labor is expensive. But what's an example of a hidden cost you didn't know was going to come here? It snuck up on you.
Yeah, I would say probably one of the biggest unexpected costs was insurance.
Oh, really?
So you have to have liquor liability insurance in Oregon.
Yeah.
And you have to have, like there's like layers of insurance, right? Like you have to have insurance on the venue, you have to have insurance for the employees, you have to have insurance for, liquor and alcohol, everything. And I didn't realize. I knew it was relatively expensive, but it's just like I didn't realize that they also change how much that cost is going to be associated directly to the revenue of the business. So if you do more business, then like almost like the tax man, they come knocking and go, guess what? You did more business. Now your insurance is going to be
congratulations on a record year of paying insurance.
We've had 2 years. I know we've never had an incident, thank God, and we've had 2 years of 30% increases on our insurance. And I'm just like, what is this?
I feel the same way.
Business in the world.
I feel the same way. We are a moving company, and people can get hurt. Nobody really gets hurt with us. We're nice and safe. We do all those things, but still, insurance man hikes it up every year. Like, what do you do? I can't afford this, man.
Yeah, and I was arguing with my insurance agent. He was actually calling me again today about that 2026 increase, and I was just telling him, I'm like, I can't increase my drinks and my ticket cost 30% each year.
No.
I can't. It's literally impossible. And I was like, what are we supposed to do as businesses? And I know there's a lot of people in the government and, businesses for Oregon that are advocating for this. But I'm like, we can't just keep increasing insurance to these astronomical levels, because I'm like, we can only sell our product and everything we have at a finite amount. So I'm like, it doesn't work where they just get to keep increasing and making more and more and more money.
Drinks are already expensive enough.
Right. And like, if we're going to be legally forced to have insurance for things, for incidentals and all this stuff as business owners, I'm like, it has to align with revenue that we can produce. And if it doesn't, it's just going to be business after business sinking and or just like giving up on insurance. Because
I was going to say, a lot of people are just going to say, oh yeah, we have insurance.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. It's very frustrating. That's like one of those costs where like I had a good idea about it. I didn't realize how expensive that was going to be year to year, and that there isn't really much I can do right now other than kick and scream about it.
If someone's in your shoes where they're kind of want to start a venue up, what do you recommend their first hire is? Like, who do you think they should hire first? My first hire was a bookkeeper.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on the size of what you're trying to do and everything. I think bookkeeper's great. A good accountant is great.
Yep.
If you have a lot of experience already in the music business and venue stuff, just if you aren't going to be the general manager, having a general manager that's just like making sure all the little things are taken care of throughout just the venue operations is super important. There's so much stuff you can just miss that's super easy to miss and forget about, and then all of a sudden,
and then you owe the IRS, or you owe the tax man, or
you owe somebody, or you forgot something,
down your neck.
Yeah, it's like who knows what it is. But
being aware of all the rules is crazy, right? Because you're getting this for the love of it, and then there's rules after rules.
There's so many. And that's unfortunately the whole world we live in now, right? There's so many rules and so much regulation, so much. I would say overreach, in my opinion, but it's like there has to be a balance where like we're still able to operate and prosper without too much being put on our plate. And like that's a big thing in Oregon right now, right? It's like businesses are leaving like crazy.
I heard about Dutch Brothers.
Yeah, nobody can afford to run a business here.
Yep.
And we're feeling that even as a little guy, in my opinion.
No, so. I as a business owner myself, I often think, damn, why am I not in Idaho?
Yeah.
Or Texas. Why am I not in Texas and Montana?
Yeah.
Why am I not somewhere else? I switch roles just a little bit because I know we're kind of behind schedule or time because we got the bands warming up in there.
They're going to be sound checking soon.
It's going to be trombone in here real soon. Who's that warming up?
Mad Caddies.
Yes, the Mad Caddies.
Ska.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I used to love that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about studio stuff.
Yep.
So what does the producer do, like in plain English, in a couple of sentences?
Yeah. There's a lot of different roles within a producer, but essentially you are taking somebody's song and in a perfect sense of it, you're trying to put life into it, breathe life into it, right? So somebody might come to you with like a scattered idea.
Mhm.
And you're going to go, okay, let's hear this, like this. And you're arranging it like a puzzle, and putting it all together for them. That's kind of like the simple way of explaining what a producer is doing is, a lot of times a song will come to you in fragments. The producer's job is like, how do I put this together where now it feels like a piece of art,
This actually news to me because I've met a lot of artists and none of them are scatterbrained.
Yeah. It never happens.
Not once, man.
Artists are extremely well organized and efficient in everything that they do.
How do you get the best out of an artist?
I really think whenever I'm working with an artist, I want to let them do and create as much as possible. And all I'm trying to do is kind of like have boundaries up in a sense for them, where like you're not telling them they can't do something, but you're trying to keep them focused and aligned to the end goal. And you want to do it in a way where it doesn't feel like you're being like, no, do this. It's like you're like, oh, like what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we did this? And you're kind of trying to steer the song and the artist in a certain way, but while letting them, be in charge of like everything that's being created and like really being the voice of reason, whether you're encouraging something or being like, I don't think that works, But you have to be careful because even saying like something works or doesn't work, you're messing with, messing with the process and like the ego of an artist is very interesting in that like you can say something and you have to be very tactful in how you're delegating stuff in this process, because you can be saying something and you might not think it came off harsh or mean, and then all of a sudden you just killed all the creative energy they had because they're like sitting there hyper fixated on like, he said this, and like, man, like is that part really that bad? Did I really screw that up? Like, and then you're trying to reel them back into the creativity and they're still stuck thinking about one thing you said 20 minutes ago. So it's like you have to be very careful in how you're steering that ship. And I think that's why really good producers are, at the top of their game and why they get paid the money they do, because they have really mastered that art of working within the boundaries with an artist to steer them to create the best possible artwork that they can. And then the people that have, the Rick Rubins that have huge resumes showing like that with artists, it's like, okay, I understand why.
Rick Rubin can do that. He can say whatever he wants because it's Rick fucking Rubin.
Right, but it's like he's learned and mastered how to talk to artists and how to work with artists to get them to that end result where they're putting out, groundbreaking albums and albums that are their biggest album, because he's really focused on like, how do I steer this in the right direction? He doesn't play any instruments. He's not a technical person. No, but he understands artists and he understands how to get them from A to Z. So
that's what makes him different than a lot of people. He gets them. Yeah, that's a big one. So this is about business and money. Yeah. This podcast. What do most artists or musicians not understand about the money part of music?
I mean, basic, in layman terms of all that, it's a business. Yeah. And everything's going to cost money, and everything you want to do is expensive. You can do a lot DIY, and a ton of artists do, and I applaud that. There's a lot of stuff I encourage artists all the time just to pay somebody to do for you. It's like you can still do a lot of stuff DIY and it can still come out great, but there's certain things like I would say like a mixing engineer and a mastering engineer, just pay the money. Like if you want to record all this stuff yourself, knock yourself out. That's great. But you probably are not skilled enough to be a great mixing engineer, and definitely probably not skilled enough to be a great mastering engineer. So just make a budget, pay somebody to do it. And even if you're just paying the best guy in your town, that's the best local
it's going to be better
engineer,
than you.
It's probably still going to come out better than if you're doing it.
Dude, trust me. I got this podcast. I do everything myself. Yeah. And a couple podcasts ago, I recorded a musician, and he goes, love the episode, love it. You need to learn how to mix. Yeah. So I was like, damn, all right. Appreciate it. I'm going to try to learn a little bit more of this. It's a big thing.
Yeah, it is. And it's just like, it's the same thing as like, you can take this into any caveat of your life, right? Like you could have a plumbing problem at your house and you're like, I'm going to go under and fix it and figure this out.
I can turn a wrench.
You might, and you might do a good job, or you might end up turning it into a $5,000 problem.
Yeah.
Now you have to have a plumber come in and do something.
Yep.
So I think it's, it's definitely that thing of like knowing the balance of like when to hire somebody and when to do stuff on your own. And of course, everything comes with budgets, like some people and a lot of artists just can't get money saved to put aside, a couple $100 to do something. So they end up doing a lot of stuff DIY. And
it shoots them in their own foot, really.
Yeah.
They could have been something, but also they feel like they're staying true to the music or the art. So where are you going? Like, what's your path? To what end are you in this music industry?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know necessarily if I have I just want to get to here. Because every time I seem to get to somewhere, then I'm like, well, now I want to actually get over there.
Dude, yeah, 100%.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But my current goals, is to continue to have Volcanic be here and be in the community for, the long-term longevity, as long as we can have it here. Bands are starting. And and that's really the goal with that. And, hopefully we can eventually either buy this building or buy and have our own building that's Volcanic's building, so then it can be a venue for 30 or 40 years or however long that it ends up being a venue here in Central Oregon. That would be, ideal situation. And then, with the recording studio and like my own music and everything like that, I'm just going to keep plugging along and producing and putting out music and pursuing everything there and hoping that with everything that I'm doing there, it can continue to blossom and grow into like great opportunities. I would love to go play festivals or like do some touring and stuff like that. And that's just like, that's always going to be a passion. I started as a musician first, so it's like, that's always going to be there. And
that's your original passion.
Yeah, that's my original passion. And I do hope, maybe in the, the next few years that I can buy a house where I can put my recording studio at. Right now it's at a warehouse that I've converted into a recording studio, which is super cool. But it's not really, that wasn't ever my goal. You know?
That's not anybody's goal. But that's what you make and do right there.
Yeah, and it's like, it works and it gets the job done and everything like that. But ideally I would love to have just like a house and build off a separate recording studio, at my own house. I can still have bands come in, I can still record people, still do all that stuff. But it's like, again, just like trying to be efficient and be smart about long-term planning. It's like, it never makes sense to lease or pay for something for a long term. I've had my warehouse for 14 years. So
oh, damn.
I don't think I need to keep
paying for it anymore.
Could have bought it twice.
Yeah.
So
all right, well, the band's starting to warm up, so we're gonna kind of cruise through this. I wanted to talk about Alley Dogs.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that anymore?
Yeah, so I had did Alley Dogs with two of my friends actually for a handful of years, and we grew it to three food trucks full time. Mm-hmm. One was at the Amphitheater Midtown Yacht Club, mm-hmm. and then the other one was doing private events around town. We bought out one of the other partners, me and Tyler did, and we kept cruising along and plugging along doing that for many years. And once I bought Volcanic and took this opportunity on, I just kind of realized, like, as much as I am a workaholic, admittedly, and I will like grind myself to the bone to get stuff done, it was just too much work to try to run the venue full time and run, the food trucks. Because the food trucks had 12 employees, the venue had 10 employees. Both of them are running full time, and I was just like, I can't be everywhere and do everything at once. And it was like, I tried. I think I made it 6 months, and I was just like, I have to sell the food truck to my my business partner, or like step away. And it's like I ended up selling it to him, and then he ended up bringing on a different one of our friends as a business partner with him. So everything worked out great with that. But it was just like, it was just too much. It's fine to be humble and say, like, I can only do so much, and I had hit that capacity pretty hard.
And plus, at that point, you're overreached. You're doing shit all for Volcanic and for Alley Dog, and you're just a zombie in your personal life.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too that's hard. Where, and I'm sure you understand this as a business owner, like a lot of business owners will wear a bunch of hats because they don't make enough money to like delegate a full-time position to that. So like with Alley Dogs, it was very much so the same thing. Like we had this, great food truck brand that was going, and we had multiple locations, and it was doing good revenue, but it wasn't enough revenue where we could hire a GM and me and the other owner could just sit back. It was like, if we did that, we'd both only be making like 10 grand a year. And at that point, you're like, once you pay taxes, you're like, oh,
that's cool when you're 15.
Yeah, this isn't worth it. It's like you have to make what I call real money,
smart.
where it's substantial enough to that it makes sense for the investment and the risk that you have of running those businesses. So,
well, you saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
I got, at the end of all my podcasts, I like to throw out 5 questions real fast just to get a little rapid fire, get the juices flowing, get before the people get going. So the first one, the best songwriter in the last 20 years. Who is it?
Best songwriter?
Best songwriter in the last 20 years.
Oh, man. Ooh,
good luck with the rapid fire, huh?
Yeah, that's, I don't know if I could rapid fire that. I mean, there's so many artists that come to mind. I'm just going to say, just because he's my personal favorite right now, is Steven Wilson Jr. He's written a lot of songs for a lot of people, and he's put out some amazing work as well. So I'm just going to throw him out there because I absolutely love him and his writing.
Well, I sprung a big one on you.
Yeah.
Next one. What's the most random skill you've gained since your entrepreneurial journey started at like 14?
Oh, the most random?
Yeah. Something you weren't expecting.
This might sound super silly, but being able to type like 150, 160 words a minute on a computer. Yeah.
I'm getting good at the numbers.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to the letters, I'm still like, okay, where the heck is Z?
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny because I remember taking computer science class in high school, and they were trying to teach you how to like not look and type. And I just kept blowing the class off over and over again.
Not going to need this.
I honed enough skill of understanding that when I started doing all the business stuff full time, and I'm sending out 50, 60 emails a day, editing contracts, writing proposals, doing all this stuff, like all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I am like wickedly fast.
Your boy's got lightning fingers.
So then I started you can test yourself and see how fast you can go. And I'm like, I can do like 160 words a minute.
I got to look it up.
Pretty impressive.
I might get a 1 or 16 right now. But if you could book any artist to play the Volcanic, dead or alive, of any era, who would that artist or band be?
Oh, man. Can I have a few?
Yeah, just give me a couple that comes off the top of your head.
I mean, if I had endless money and could put anybody in here, dead or alive, I would probably bring in, let's go, Jimi Hendrix, Johnny Cash, Nirvana, Third Eye Blind, and who else would I put in there?
I don't know why I'm always thinking the Doors. I've always wanted to see the Doors live. I know they get weird and they might do some stuff.
Yeah, and then we'll throw Bruce Springsteen in there too.
Oh,
why
the
not?
boss. There you go.
Boss Hog.
Okay. I know you're not with the Alley Dogs anymore, but why hot dogs?
Yeah. So it kind of started. Funny enough, it started as a joke. Me and two other the other business partners on it when we first started, we were just drunk at a bar downtown, joking about how funny it would be to sell hot dogs behind the bar.
Yeah.
And we never actually thought it was going to be a serious thing. We were just drunk making this thing up. We said, we're like, oh, we're going to call it Three Amigos and like this whole thing.
Yeah.
And
hot dog down the hallway.
Hot dog. It's like this whole thing. And then we started it started turning into a real idea. I actually, in my office somewhere, I forget where it's at right now, but I have like the original drawing of like the hot dog cart that like we sketched up on the piece of paper when we were all drunk, and it's like this just ridiculous like pencil stick figure picture, and we just went for it, and it was just like literally there was no like, oh, we're gonna do this amazing thing. I was like, we were drunk and Googling like best selling foods in America, and it's like pizza, tacos, and hot dogs. And I was like, we're doing hot dogs.
Nothing's easier than a hot dog. Yeah, my very first podcast was with Dan from Dump City Dumplings.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I used to work for Dump City too. We were always looking at the hot dog guy like, this is actually pretty good. Pretty good. Who doesn't like a hot dog?
Yeah, it's like hot dogs. Like
I'll throw some glizzies down the throat.
It's a relatively probably one of the most known food items in the world, I would say. And it's like everybody knows what it is. It's easy. It's simple. Yeah. And it's like you can do a lot with hot dogs as well. Like you can get real crazy with the toppings. So
all right. Well, so last one. If you had to start over in life tomorrow from 15 again, what would be the first thing you would do? On your business 15. Journey. Yep.
This will sound kind of crazy, and probably a lot of people don't know this, but I never graduated high school, so I would love to go back and graduate high school. I just got super busy in my life. My dad left when I was in high school, left our family, just kind of disappeared one day. And, then everything changed really quick within the family. And I was like working and figuring shit out super young. I didn't really have an option. So
a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. I was just like, all of a sudden I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm, I got to take care of shit. And I didn't have the opportunity to finish high school. I had fallen behind already that year. And then my brother got in a bad accident following that. So it was just on top of like dad leaving, brother got in a super bad accident. And I was just like, there was whole new life, no time to do it. And and I never went back. It's still on my to-do list to like, to go finish my whatever I need to do to get my high school diploma.
I can see you in high school in the back. Miss Crabapple? No.
Yeah, just like, I got a question. Actually, that's not true.
Okay, well, yeah. I love it. We're going to end this with this last question for you. Give your best advice to anyone thinking of starting a business or following a passion.
Literally, I mean, it sounds cliche, but just like go for it. Make a plan, write things out, do as much research as you can. It doesn't matter how much research you do. It doesn't matter if you have a college degree. It doesn't matter anything or a high school degree. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to fail a lot. And it's really just like picking yourself back up and in learning from all of those mistakes. And even if you think you've made a huge mistake that's detrimental to the overall business, you can probably almost always get yourself out of it. Yeah. If you have the cojones to like really push and go for it. But there is no like perfect plan. There is no perfect anything within business. And if there was, then the business landscape wouldn't be how it is.
I think that a lot of people who are starting or think about starting, what they need to know is you actually need to fail.
Yeah.
If you don't fail, you're going to have this false sense of grandeur.
Yeah.
That you're all this and it's so easy. And then when the first halfway hard thing comes, you crumble.
Yeah. And I don't know, even if you take it to sports or really anything, like nobody is perfect all the time. Nothing stays golden forever. So it's like you will eventually lose, you will eventually fail, you will eventually, sink. And it's really about just like standing back up and being like, okay, what did I learn from this?
Yeah.
How can I never make this mistake again? And what do I need to do to keep going? And you just literally have to live by that and never, literally just never give up. I mean,
it sounds cliche, but
it's true.
I got the exact same thing, man. I was going to say the exact same thing. Well, shoot, man, on that note, thanks for being on the show.
It. Thanks.
This has been the Venture into Moving podcast. Venture on, my friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, damn, all right. Appreciate it. I'm going to try to learn a little bit more of this. It's a big thing.